All right, so there are 4 things I would tell my daughter about men if I had one. And so I mentioned the first one in a previous video, and that is I would tell my daughter that love is not enough. Now, here's the second thing I would tell my daughter. But before I tell you the second thing I would tell my daughter, I need you to hear me and listen to me closely and carefully. I am telling you hypothetically, okay? Emphasis on hypothetically. What I will tell my daughter as a father. Okay? So this will be a father talking to the daughter, not a pastor talking to a congregant. Because where I'm getting ready to go, I know some of y'all you're just about to pass out. Like you literally, some of you are about to pass out mid-video because of where I'm getting ready to take this. But I would say this as a father to my daughter, not as a pastor to a congregant, all right? I am not condoning or endorsing. It's a shame you got to say all this, but you do, because some people just like, I don't know. I don't know. They mad at the world. There's no active listening. They will read half a caption and write a whole paragraph. I'm like, if you would have read the whole caption, you could have saved yourself that time. You would have read 2 sentences. You didn't have to write a whole paragraph about something you misunderstood. So anyway, I'm not endorsing or condoning anything that the Bible doesn't endorse or condone. But this is what I would say as a father to my daughter. I would say, baby, there are times when men confuse love with lust. There are times when men are deceptive and manipulative, and they will say things that they feel in order to get what they want physically from you. Right? So that is a real thing. But then there are times where men genuinely think there is an emotional connection. And the things that they are saying are things that they think they feel. But what they don't know is what they're feeling isn't always love. Sometimes it's curiosity. Curiosity in terms of, curiosity in terms of what an experience with this person would be like. Curiosity in terms of what does this person look like. And so what can happen is, in many cases, when that curiosity gets satisfied, then the person changes up. The male can change up. And I'm sure it could go either way, because I know some people put in the comments, it's the same way for us. But I'm saying what I would say to my daughter. Okay, this is so there are times when people are manipulative and they say things to get what they want physically. And then there are times where they're not intentionally manipulative. They are genuinely confused. They thought they felt one thing until they got what they wanted physically. And when the curiosity was no longer there, the emotion was no longer there. So it wasn't real love. It was actually lust. Jay got real questions, Jay.
What would you say to men to help them like identify that that's what they're dealing with?
Oh, if it's actually love or lust. Yes. Yeah, right. Now, some people are going to land differently on this. I don't believe that I believe if you have to have that physical experience to actually determine if it's love or lust, then there's some emotional intelligence that actually needs to be developed there, right? So you shouldn't just have to go around adding bodies to your body count to determine whether or not you love somebody. So that is not what I'm saying at all. I think there is a difference between physical attraction and physical interest than emotional connection. And I think when you're dealing with love, as I understand it, what you fall in love with is the soul. You're attracted to the body, But if you with anybody long term, the body's going to change. If a woman has children, the body's going to change. So when a person, if you fall in love with a body, that's kind of like, I don't know how to do that. So I think you're able to determine whether or not this is love or lust when you really ask yourself, am I more interested in this body, or do I feel like I got a connection with this person's soul? Not that the attraction doesn't matter, but it is the thing that doesn't matter the most. And it shouldn't take being intimate with somebody for you to determine that. Because real love is a connection of the soul. It is a tying of the soul, not just a union of the body.
Hypothetically, this happens to your daughter. And if she came to you hypothetically and told you, like, this is what she's dealing with, naturally it would be, lead her to the Bible. Like,
right, yeah.
You should have did it anyway.
Yeah.
But how do you, emotionally guide her through that type of, I guess, trauma?
Yeah. Well, that's a great question, because, you would hope that, and this is just parenting 101, right? So I'm going to use God as an example. He's a perfect father, yet we still do imperfect things. So if he's a perfect father who always does everything right, and we do imperfect things as his children, then of course, as imperfect parents, from time to time, my children are going to do imperfect things. So you would want that not to happen. Like I would want her to, like, yo, if he loves you enough to wait, he loves you. That's a fact. Like, ain't nobody waiting that long just to get some, right? I don't even know. Like, you waiting a marriage? It's like so if he's willing to wait, then that's love, right? So that's one of the things that I would say. But if she went through that, and if, she came to me, one of the things that, I don't know, one of the things I feel like that I would do, hopefully I wouldn't have said, like, I told you so. I don't think that's like my personality. But, one of the things that I would want her to do is to say, hey, all right, now we got to look at this. We got to look at this mistake, and how we look at it is going to determine the impact it has on us. So you can define yourself by this mistake, or this can be a defining moment for you, where you sit in this feeling and remember what this feeling feels like. Feel it all. The shame, feeling used, feeling embarrassed, feeling a number of different things. And then make a decision. This is a feeling I'll never feel again. That's the difference between letting it define you and it being a defining moment. Because if a person loves your soul, now, hey guys, listen, I know I'm just telling you what I would tell my daughter. Because ain't no man gonna wait. Fine, go ahead. Nobody gonna wait. They gonna get it somewhere else. Go ahead. But yeah, I would say, hey, this doesn't have to define you. We can make this a defining moment. Yep. So the second thing I would tell my daughter, if I had a daughter, is that sometimes men confuse love and lust.